Look who is back in Lovely Hall on the Jim Masters Show live. There he is, funny man. He is Las Vegas's Man of the Year, Male Celebrity of the Year, Male Entertainer of the Year. I think he's running for mayor currently. He is everything Las Vegas. And he has won these awards multiple times, but he's won so many international film awards and national film awards. He's an extraordinary actor, comedian, impressionist, producer, composer, director. He does it all. And he stars in a fabulous new film, Amends of the Father. We're going to tell you about that. Got a little teaser behind the scenes as well. The incomparable Stephen Sorrentino, rewind. I think I need a glass of wine that you have there. How do we put that through there? Stephen Sorrentino is here.
Yeah.
Boy, the wine makes a big difference. I love that. That's it. That'll go on our blooper reel at the Christmas party. So great to have you here. This is his return visit. He's been with us before. And when he was with us last time, we did an entire sort of look back from the day he was born all the way up. New York kid out on Long Island. And now he's in the beautiful countryside of Virginia on his estate. Not too bad, huh? What's in your wallet?
Nothing now.
Nothing now. He's an actor. He works for his money. He sings for his supper. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Brother Brown. It's good.
Of course, what we just did, we rehearsed. That was just that was shtick. That whole
shtick?
thing. That whole thing was shtick. Yes.
Okay,
a word that you don't want to foul up on the air.
I'm a Second City alumni, so I love fouling up because it brings something into the mix that you never thought was going to be there. So I'm all into, if it gets screwed up, that's what it is.
That's it, exactly. And we're live, so anything can happen, and we love that. We love there. Live too. There's something about the energy of live that is hard to sort of script or create. There's the energy of you're out on a tightrope. You got to make magic, and literally anything can happen at a moment's notice, whether it's technologically or something going on behind the scenes or something right on camera or on air, right?
And I think the other part of it is it's not about me, it's about listening to you, and then it becomes both of us. And that's it, because a lot of people forget to listen in acting, especially improv. So my performance is in your hands. And then when you're ready, you give it to me, and then I say something messed up, and then you go, ooh, now we have something here,
Exactly right. We're getting a little static on your end. Is your cell phone near your microphone?
It might be. Let me shut it.
Sometimes that when cell phones are next to microphones, they create that sort of crackly sound. Say some things now. Say it again.
How about now?
A little bit still. Yeah, a little bit. He gets serious. Look, now he turned into Kojak. You notice that when you put those sunglasses on? He's like,
maybe.
You know what he did? He slapped up a few people, the production assistants. Come on, hook me in right. Unplug this.
Put it on, right? Put it on. Come back up to it.
It's still doing it. I don't know why it's.
He was. Maybe if I unplug it. How about now?
Say a few things.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Still doing it, yeah.
How do I get it? I don't have problems with me. Let me tell everybody to shut their phones off. How about that?
Yes, maybe do that.
Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
So this time we don't see the chair, but we see a beautiful fireplace at his residence there in Virginia. Of course, this is Stephen Sorrentino. He is a beloved actor, comedian, impressionist, composer, Las Vegas Male Entertainer of the Year. He's been doing this for a long time. He has won multiple awards, like 65 international film awards, named Male Entertainer of the Year in Vegas for like 3 years in a row. He hails from New York, from Long Island, and he's actually part of Bruce Springsteen's family tree on his father's side as well.
Sorrentino. How's that better?
Let's say a few things.
Just better.
Still a little bit of a, I wonder if something's rubbing against the mic or something that's affecting your mic, or
I could be fine. Check 1, 2. Hey.
Is it the location? Is there any wiring loose or anything?
There's nothing. It's solid state.
When when hands went towards the screen, it did a little bit of a shh. So I don't know if there's something solid state that went out in 1978.
Well, you know what I mean. It's an iPad that's Wi-Fi.
Television.
Solid gold to make you feel old.
It's solid state. It was an exciting thing to have a solid state television. Yeah.
Oops.
I think it's a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I tell you, he is the funny man. Again, this is all shtick. We rehearsed this whole thing to a T.
Okay.
So how have you? How could you not vote for that face?
All right. All right.
That's the face that he would always show his school teachers, right?
Yeah. Did I get it right? Ooh.
Right. And then when you would show that face, what letter of the alphabet would be on your report card?
A. No F. They tried to give me a G once, and I said no.
Right. So you've been with us before, and we did a wonderful look at your entire career then. But Amends of the Father is something really special. I got a chance to watch the screener, and kudos and congratulations to you, Stephen, because this is your baby. You are responsible for almost everything, but it does take a village. I mean, directing and acting in it, and the music composition as well. It's all, got your flavor and flair. Best narrative feature, best original music, best actor. Congratulations on it all.
Yeah,
this is amazing.
Because I'm really overwhelmed by the reception it's gotten all over the world. I think because I'm being myself, and it's kind of semi-autobiographical, so it's as organic and real as you get.
And it really is like it's an 80s performer, 80s musician who sort of, I guess, falls out of favor with his wife and his kid, and he's trying to make a return in a way, and also finding out whether or not everybody will forgive him and if he will have the ability to forgive. I mean, it's got a great storyline to it. Tell us about it.
Well, Jim, the reason why it's got a great story is because it's real. In the 80s, I had record deals. I kept blocking myself because I was afraid of success, because I was afraid of failure. So I may as well block it myself by drinking, drugging, attitude, self-doubt. And I kind of fell apart. And then at one point, I had to find myself. Of course, in this story, it's a little bit different. It changes. But we're using all footage of me in the 80s. Live footage. We're using posters of me back in the 80s with big hair and hot chicks and all that stuff. So it truly is a ride back through my history. It's hard to look at yourself editing the movie, 40 years later or something, like 35 years later.
Has this been a story that's always been sort of on the back burner for you, that you've always wanted to tell and share with everybody?
No.
Really?
Honestly,
did others come to you and say, hey, you've got to share the story? How did it all come about?
I was doing Annie as 4 different characters with Sally Struthers in the DC area. And there was this really handsome kid, good looking boy. And I thought, what a waste it would be if he didn't get his turn in life. And we started to work out a 3-minute improv piece. And from that 3-minute improv piece, he actually quit acting, became a realtor in New York City. And then I said, I think I have a movie here. And as I was talking to you on our last interview, I was running back to my room after the shows at the Foxwoods and at Harrah's in Vegas. And I would write a script, and then I cast it. I saw 2,000 people for the roles in this thing, 2,000. So I don't know. It's just like something that people used to say, that's a good story. So I said, let's do it. And we did it in 4 states. We did it in Hollywood. We did it in Palm Beach, Florida. We did it in Virginia, near Charlottesville, and also in New York City.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And in addition to Amends of the Father, there's a couple of other movies that you're a part of as well. For one of the first things that, I chat with the guest before we go live on the air, so we check usually audio and video and all the rest. And if it's somebody who's been on the show before, we always catch up with each other and talk about, how we're doing personally, professionally, before we go live on the air. And one of the things I asked him was, how have you been? And he went up. Got so much going on. It's extraordinary. Amends of the Father, and then other films too,
Yeah.
right? Tell us about that.
Well, there was one guy I was casting for my movie. I really liked him. He was an Asian dude. He just wasn't right for the role. He had to be dopey, and this guy was kind of smart. I just liked him, and I said, "Let's stay in touch. You're not going to be cast in this movie." So he got me one of the female actresses that are in the film. But then he called me out of nowhere when it was pretty much halfway filmed, and he said, "I'm looking for somebody to produce my short story. Do you know anybody?" So I said, "I'll take a read." And after I read it, I said, "Me, I want to direct and produce it." So I did. Just after Amends of the Father, and then I composed all the music for all my movies. I composed the music for. So, Amends, Detective Kiwi is the name of the song. You can go to Instagram. It's called Detective Kiwi at Instagram, and I composed the entire piece, like classical piece. Used some of the Las Vegas Symphony Orchestra, and it really is it came out beautiful. And it's actually written about my little doggie that died, my last rescue pup, that used to watch me compose at night, and I wrote it for her. And the song is called Esqueleto Mi Amor, which means skeleton, my love. But we used to call it a skeleton. So it's a beautiful piece about children, and it's very light. It's the opposite of Amends. Amends is a roller coaster ride. Detective Kiwi is the opposite. It's a very beautiful story, and everybody cried when they showed it last week at the Marina Del Rey Film Festival. I can't hear you now. I tell you, it's not working out over here.
You've been in a lot of incredible things, and you started out, of course, in New York, growing up in New York, but then you included Los Angeles, and you made your mark literally on the Las Vegas Strip as a headliner and comedian, impressionist. You worked with some greats too over the years: Patti LaBelle, Dennis Miller, Dana Carvey, the band, Louie Anderson, Smothers Brothers, a 5-year run with Hollywood icon Debbie Reynolds from 2010 to 2015. Very cool stuff, huh?
Yeah, towards the end of the run, I went to school. I studied acting in LA and in New York, but I got more lessons sitting with Patti LaBelle or with Debbie Reynolds after a glass of wine after the show. That's why it's really important that us older people, the actors and the performers, give the time to the young people, because what we have to say and the stuff we've been through is really valuable. And I'm not a big fan of going to college and learn the arts, because I think the arts happen right here while you're doing it.
Exactly right. Street smart arts. It's basically what it is. And also a lot of voiceover work too, voiceover, animation, things of that nature. And that area has boomed exponentially, right? You do a lot of that work still?
Yeah, I do. And I just love looking at a picture when somebody's drawing a character and they say, "What does it sound like?" And I'm like, well, he's probably a little bit, maybe he's kind of Jewish from New York, and maybe he's got, stuff like that. So you just like make it as they go, and they go, "Oh, wait, a little bit. Yeah, that's it." And then you're in.
The impressions too are another big part of what you do. What are some recent ones maybe that you've added to your vast and expansive repertoire, my friend?
It's hard because a lot of people are all the same, sort of. So Bruno Mars is the newest one that I do, and I have a life-size puppet, but I begin it on the floor on my knees. So he's a little bitty guy, and I sing I feel Locked Up in Heavens, and the audience loves it.
That's fantastic. That's great. Are you always you're always observing people, right, and sort of picking up the cues and the mannerisms? And
as an actor, that's the spice of life, is sitting at a cafe somewhere weird and just going, check that limp out, or check that expression, and wow, everybody's beautiful. Everybody's beautiful, no matter what they look like, because they have their own thing, and the unique qualities that make us who we are, to me, is the most important thing in the world. I love people. I love watching and learning, and then becoming them if I can.
Watch out, folks. If he sees you in the supermarket, he may become you. Have you been able to do Blanche in the produce aisle yet?
No.
He's still working on her, right?
I could do let's see, B. Arthur in the frozen fruit. Shady Pines Ma. That's the best thing I can do. I don't know.
God will get you for that, Stephen.
Those were wonderful people. I'm going to be buried right outside of at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, right outside of where Estelle Getty is, who I absolutely loved.
Really? I thought you had a plot waiting for you at Pine Lawn.
I'm right. No, Hollywood Forever Cemetery. It's like the coolest. They have events and people. I'm right next to the girl that Phil Spector killed. I'm in the next niche in the columbarium. Can't wait. There's a sign right.
Are you planning an announcement this evening? That something we're not aware of, or
As you
is
see,
this it?
I
Is
die
this the last appearance? Thank you for choosing the Jim Masters Show series to make that final appearance, my friend.
I have died a tragic death on stage all over the world, and tonight, for you, I'm bombing for you.
Well, see, if we weren't both from Long Island, you would not make this the final stop. It's a full circle sort of thing, right?
Well, I'm not, but I am expecting to win an award in New York City next week, August 1st. They're showing my movie at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. at the Chain.
Great.
Yeah, so I got a lot of celebrity weirdos coming, and it's going to be fun. And I'm giving out tickets because I just want to buy a whole bunch of.
Who are some of the folks that you got coming? Maybe tease it a little.
Coming, Randy Jones from the Village People, who is my good buddy.
Yeah, Randy Jones, yeah.
Yeah, so we have those people. Lynn Tucci's coming from Orange is the New Black, and some other Orange people. So it should be a lot of fun.
If they go to your website, which is on the screen, they can find out more.
Yeah, definitely. It'll say festivals as of tomorrow, and you'll be able to see.
Cool.
And then we have one in Las Vegas as well. And again, all the Las Vegas folks like Clint Holmes and Kelly Clinton will be there. Hopefully, Carrot Top's supposed to come. So it should be a fun Frankie Shinta and some of the local heroes over there.
That's fun.
And I might even get Wayne Newton to show up and watch my movie.
That's going to be fantastic. That's going to be great. Yeah. Try to get to that.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question. In my film, we address the one thing is, what will people do to get famous? What's the worst they could do? What's the biggest thing they could do? And will it hurt other people? What do you think?
What do I think is the worst thing they can do?
No, do you see that in society now, that people will do ridiculous things to get famous?
I see that probably in every aspect of life. And I do think that aspects of, because there are good aspects as well. And I've had this conversation with some other folks who've stopped by the show. And I have this conversation when I'm not on radio, not on television, not on the internet, some of social media and some of, the TikTok world and all this other stuff, and the technology has, I think, exacerbated some of that. And I've had conversations with people who are very good at what they do, who are very seasoned at what they do, who've paid the dues, worked very hard, started $5 an hour spinning records or whatever they did, who are being sort of pushed aside now for somebody who knows how to do a backflip, while drinking a martini naked in their swimming pool. And they got 1 million views, and they have a book deal, a movie, a record deal, and the world loves them. And that's the only thing they did, versus the person who really wants to do what they do, loves what they do, sacrificed, and they're actually good at it. They are a word you don't hear as much anymore. They're a professional.
There you go.
There's all the time. I see it all the time. I see it in the industry. Right. I see it out of the industry. I see people that will literally, and the problem with some of it is incredibly hurtful, destructive, and dangerous. Some of the stunts, some of the crazy things people will do just to get the click, the like, or the view. And I think it's the dumbing down of a lot of society. It's the dumbing down. Not that everybody has to be going to the opera every evening and highfalutin. No, it's more of that across the board, and I think that's adding to why people have so much angst and so much anger and division. All this stuff is just, it's like people can say anything and do anything, and that's just it. And there used to be a little more decorum, civility. I mean, all these things are tied to that. Respect
for each other.
RESPECT. Exactly.
Thank you.
How do you feel about all that?
I addressed that all in this movie, as you know. I don't give away the ending, but Tony wants to get famous. And I can name, famous people. Secretary of State during the Obama administration. Do we know who that was? Doesn't come to mind. But who shot Abraham Lincoln? Who assassinated him? And we know all his names, right? John Wilkes Booth. Why do we know all three of his names, middle name and everything, but we don't know who the Secretary of State was only a few years ago? It's because negative stuff and sensation sells story. And that's what this film is about. What will you do? How bad do you want your fame? And I think it's a statement about what's going on these days, about what people will do to get famous, including but not limited to possible situation that happened a few days ago. And by the way, if you watch the Trump video, you'll see me there with a black hat. It's not me during the shooting, but I got about 2,000 emails and calls because everyone thought it was me.
Oh boy.
The record, I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
They thought it was you on stage?
Everybody to the
Doing
left.
an impersonation?
No. It was me, like just some guy. I was there with a Trump shirt. I don't know if you know.
Oh, yeah. Ah.
And I'm from Long Island. So we're not going to, I'm not going to be
He was not there at all. Exactly.
No, I wasn't. But everyone thought it was me because the guy looked like me and he was acting.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Just terrible situation that happened.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Everybody called me, I'm like, I'm in Virginia. They're like, no, you're in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm like, I'm not. So I got 100 emails.
But AI can place you in that place.
I think it's just a doppelganger or somebody wants to get me in trouble, which is fine. Good press.
So with that question that you pose in that movie, which I think is very potent and relevant and impactful,
yes, sir.
How do you handle it even in your own career when things are presented to you that would have that kind of sort of quick buck approach to it? Let's just do that, quick buck, in and out, get the views, move on. How do you handle when those things come your way?
I look in the mirror and I remember that I love people, I respect people, and when it's my turn, it's my turn. And if it's not, just stay tuned. That's why I'm still in the game. I reinvent myself every 10 years. I would never hurt somebody. I'm a team player. Like I said, I'm Second City. So our scene is only as good as us, not just me. So it's yes and all of us. We all rise. So it would never be. I was asked to do a film, and I was teaching a lot of young people. I was like, I guess I was coaching actually in China as well. I had, so I want to make a good impression. And the guy said, "You want you to be naked for this movie?" And it opens up where I said, "Am I wearing a long shirt or am I wearing?" He's like, no, it's just, hiney, and I'm like, I teach kids. It wouldn't be, no, you know what I mean? But yeah.
I haven't heard that word in years.
What's that?
Hiney.
I was going to say I'm trying to be funny, Jim. I'm trying to work.
You use the H word on my show. I can't believe it.
That's right. It's a German word meaning Heine.
He sat next to me in third grade. He was a very quiet kid, Heine.
Yeah, Heine.
Yeah. He was always seated in his chair.
Why wouldn't he be? Right?
Yes.
What an ass. Anyway.
I told you, funny man is here. What comes first? You have such a relationship with music and composition and being a musician. Did that come first for you, and then the acting and all the rest come later? What was first for you?
Music.
The music.
I lost myself as an artist as a kid, and I started.
And what kind of music was speaking to your heart and soul then?
Pop music, Elton John type stuff, Eagles, a little bit of everything, and then eventually I started sounding a little bit more like Survivor and bands like that, like the screaming, 80s at Journey. On a good day, but my first song was very, very simple. It was 3 chords, but I was so excited that it just sounded like something that would be on the radio, even though it wasn't very good. But it was the first time I went, "Ooh, I could do something that's like the big boys in a way," and that just egged me on. And the acting came, honestly, between you and I. I don't know. I think I did weddings and bar mitzvahs for many years because that was my family business. I was very unhappy. Performing, singing. I used to play flute, sax, piano, and guitar. And I was a good wedding band, but I used to try to make it into Pee-wee's Playhouse, and people would do kind of funny things on the breaks. And I became a comedian and an actor from that. And then I studied in New York and LA, and then it all made good sense to me. But I just think I like people. and I like making them smile and making them happy, or making them now. With this 2 films, I have people going, ah, and then the opposite for the other one. I just get is everyone all right? Like in Australia, nobody clapped, and I'm like, you know, what do I do? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, and everybody clapped. It's a movie that makes you think, and it's a movie that sticks with you. Amends of the Father. So Amends on Instagram. That's
something about art too that's interesting, because whether it's a song or movie, TV show, anything, you know, a piece of sculpture, whatever it is, everybody has their own interpretation of it, right? And you can take the same movie and show it around the world, and each culture, each venue, each audience is going to react differently to it. Same thing, you know, comedy, a joke that sells in New York or Boston or Philly or LA might not work in Duluth, and vice versa. So it's being adaptable and flexible with it all, I guess. Huh?
Comedy is the hardest because it's very subjective, and at any given point, half the audience doesn't know what you're talking about, or they don't want to hear what you're talking about. So music is always, as a comedian, music was my punchline, so it was a bulletproof act. So if they weren't liking the lead up, and then you did an impression and sang Bee Gees and danced around, they were like, oh, okay, we like the. So 90% of the people like the music you're playing, and only 50% understand your humor at any given time. Any comedian will tell you that.
And so sometimes they will actually sort of tweak the repertoire based on the audience and what the audience is going to respond to, right?
Sure, that, and also self-deprecation is the key to a good comedy night, because if you come on stage like who the heck you are, they don't like you. But if you come on, my thing used to be, hi, I'm fat. You know, just like that was the statement. And when I sat down, I said, you know, just a couple of things. The audience said, oh, he's one of us. And anything I did and said, they were with me on the ride. Back in Vegas, 1,000 to 2,000 people. It would be great audiences for Patti LaBelle, especially because they were a Black and gay audience. And my God, it was just so fun. Everybody was there to party and have a great time. Good stuff. And Miss Patti was some of my best shows ever, working with her, 69 shows.
That's incredible. It really is. I mean, and just another iconic figure. But I mentioned, you know, Dennis Miller, Dana Carvey, Louie Anderson, the Smothers Brothers, so many others. And what I think really cool too is the fact that, like you said, you have this longevity, you have this way of sort of reinventing yourself, and that's a cool thing to be able to do that. Madonna has done that throughout her entire career.
Right. Yeah. I was never that popular as her, because she hit big. My friend Paulie Pesco was my bar mitzvah guitar player, and he said, hey, this chick, quote unquote, this chick's auditioning for a record deal. She has a producer named Jelly Bean, whatever. This is 1980.
It was Jelly Bean. I forget the last name. Yeah.
Anyway, she was showcasing at the Red Parrot or something like that. And I said, no, it's all about men. Rock Pile, Billy Joel. He goes, no, she's going to be a big star. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. Boy, was I wrong. It was Madonna. So who knew?
And still selling out too. Just had that recent concert, international concert, just selling. It's incredible. You know, we have a really cool teaser here. It's like behind the scenes of Amends of the Father. And do you want to sort of preface it or just show it and then we'll talk about it after?
Yeah, let's do that. Check it out. It's behind the scenes of what we went through in the very beginning and how things got stuck together.
You got it. Here we go.
Holy shit.
C2, take one, marker.
Do the toughest guy.
So on this shoot, I'm acting as executive producer, some co-directing, travel coordinator, casting director, musical composer, a lot of stuff. You really want to hear this?
Go home!
Yeah, so from the first scene and the 12th scene was done back to back. We see Tony's whole range of how messed up he is in that one shot for the most part.
Scene 1, take 6, marker.
I was able to find in Ocean Ridge a great house that we could all stay in and also dual purpose as a set. And there's two pieces of this that we're going to use for two different parts. It's perfect because it's got these long hallways, this grand entrance. It's got the outside that we can use for the music video, a beautiful pool, and it also houses everybody. It has a great kitchen and easy to get to. And also it looks stunning. So the next scene that we're doing is going to be the AA meeting, where we first see Tony in real life. And he's at an AA meeting that we have a great location here, which is actually an actual AA place for people that go to meetings every day, getting a 6-month chip on that day. And we're going to reveal who this character is. The final location for us is on Palm Beach Island, and it's a beautiful, huge house, $30 million mansion. The problem is that tomorrow's going to be colder than Alaska here in Florida. So if worse comes to worse, and we have to use this location, it can double. And you won't miss it because you won't know what you're missing. So this location will work if we need it to. So we're covering all our bases times 10 on this whole shoot.
Yes, and for real. So it's going to be 3, 2, boom, the second one.
Because I get my hand in everything, and I guess I get it the way I want my original vision was. So I get to go all the way from A to Z again of every part of the production and process of making a film. No, I'm still fucking good. I'm still fucking good.
Really amazing. I tell you, when you are playing all those puzzle pieces, does it ever become overwhelming because you're looking at all the different aspects of the film itself and all the way down to composing the music for it? What's that process like? How do you balance it all to make sure that, again, all those elements that you desire and hope for come to fruition?
It's a crapshoot, man. I mean, you put it all together. The one scene, there's a scene in the movie, and I can give it away. I figuratively kill myself. I shoot myself in the mirror because of the self-loathing and how much I hated what I did with my life and the people that I hurt. And after that scene, because it hit home, I did it 3 times. I had to go to a bedroom with my assistant for about 20 minutes because I was not able to I wasn't together. I was a mess of snotty tears, and because all of that stuff came back to me. It's hard. It's hard doing your own life story in a way, even though it has twists and turns. And of course, my life wasn't Tony. It is Tony, but it's a lot. And then putting the music on top of, remember, the songs that I'm using are my songs from the 90s and some 80s. So a lot of that, plus I wrote a new song called Albee. You see it on Spotify, Stephen Sorrentino, Albee, A-L-B-E-E. And it's just right out of the 1960s. I wanted it that way. And hearing that song and knowing that the song was there and playing the scenes to the music, it's heavy. It really, I think it messed with me for about 2.5 months after. I needed a little vacation, and I just went by myself on an ocean front somewhere in Florida, and I stayed there for a little while. So it feels good, though, as an artist, because I dug all the way into my heart and I made a little hole, and that's, as an artist, I think that's what the audience deserves, is to share everything. And you're not seeing any of the cracks in this. I mean, I'm showing all the cracks for this movie. There's no hair, there's no, everything's shaved down, gray. This is the look. It's Tony K. He's just a wannabe. He wants to be important again, and he's the reason why he failed. It's an epic story, and people need to see this movie. It's a good, hard movie, and it's hard. And then, of course, I had one song that my cousin's daughter wrote called "Complicated," and that's what my son sings. And by the way, my son is Christopher Quartuccio, super handsome dude. You want to hug him every 30 seconds or so. And he does a great job in the movie, and especially because he shows up so damn handsome. Bastard.
I think some of the viewers were describing eye candy, or
Yeah, that's he plays the richest pop star in the world. So he's a billionaire pop star.
There's a few of them out there too, right?
No,
Exactly. Yeah.
not one of them at this point. Maybe in the 80s.
Right. And not pop. Wow. So if you were to look at it and say, okay, Jim and viewers, 80% of this is my life story, 90%, 50%, how much of it is really you sort of through the lens telling your own story?
75%. And some of the stuff may not be as intense, but it's all based in something. Also, in this film, every single character is a part of my persona. So I'm actually, the voices that you hear other people speaking to my character are me speaking to myself. So the kindness, the arrogance, the anger, the love, it's all part of me. So I wrote it. So hearing those words again, that Filipino fella, by the way, I used everybody. Every race, every color, sexual orientation, everybody's represented in this movie, which is all of my movies. I try to do that. The Filipino dude that at one point, he has to be a dad to me, and he's 25, and he just said, you know, I don't see you as a failure. You were there, you did it. And when he said that, I wrote those words, but damn, hearing it to me, yeah, I did feel like a failure because I wasn't a pop star at 21. I didn't have the Bon Jovi money. I was just
Was that the goal? Was that the hope you wanted to be?
I wanted to be, you know, on stage with those guys. And I think I was good enough, and you'll hear my music in the movie. That stuff is still kind of fresh. I mean, dated. My dream is to have some band come in and take a couple of the songs and redo them. I would love that, to hear new people singing my stuff. That would be the joy of life, to hear my songs live on, you know?
That's incredible. I mean, and to be able to tell the story in such a way that has so many different elements of it. It's emotional, it's raw, there's fun, you know, there's comedy in it a little bit, or your humor, an interesting take on life and relationships, and a lot about forgiveness, you know, us forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, and setting it up so hopefully we're forgiven as well. You have scenarios in your own life mimicking the actual movie where you've had to forgive yourself and hopefully seek forgiveness from others and all of that.
Well, I got the Leslie Jordan from Will and Grace was a friend. I read his book in 2008, and he had gone. It's called My Trip Down the Pink Carpet. Bless his heart, he's gone. And he talks about his alcohol addiction and his drug addiction. He actually was in jail. This, you know, the little gay dude, Beverly Leslie, and I read his book, and I'm like, I spoke to a friend that knew him, and he goes, oh, he'll talk to you if you want, because I was drinking too much. And I had left the drugs back in the 90s, but I texted him, and he texted back, said, call me. And then he said, what's going on? I said, how is it not drinking? He goes, well, I want an Emmy. I said, well, I want an Emmy. He goes, then quit. And it sounded so simple. Then he said, every day, for half an hour a day, call me at the end of the day and just tell me how you feel. And I did it for 30 days, and I never had another drink for 14 years. Now I drink a little wine here and there, but that's it.
Yeah, but nothing.
For 14 years, I stopped, all because of my angel, Leslie Jordan.
That's incredible. Thanks
So
for
I was
sharing
able,
it.
I beat the demons. The only demon now is a self-doubt demon, which is just part of our, you know, it's a subjective world. I think you're old. I think you're terrible. I think you're good. I don't care. I'm free of the burden of giving a shit what people say or think. I'm just going to do my best.
Best way to be. You know, sometimes time well spent, wisdom, and the clock, you know, ticking sort of, and experiences of life get you to say that. Like when you're just coming out of the gate, you want to do everything, accomplish everything, and compete and be number one and never miss anything and say yes to everything. Yes, sure, I'll do it. Sure, I'll be there. Sure, I'll do it for free. I'll do it for this. I'll do it for that. Whatever you can. And then time comes along where you're like, you know what?
Wow.
I've done quite a bit. I am basically. And it takes sometimes people time to get to that point. When did you realize that for you?
Oh, I think later on in my mid 40s, but I think at 29 is when I got the bug to say, what's your life? What do you want? If you want it, it's there for you. Why aren't you on the path? You're on the GPS is screwed up because you're going left where you want to go right. Well, I'm doing something, having something to fall back on. And I believe that we should never have anything to fall back on, because once you say, I have something to fall back on, you fell back. And whatever you believe in, the universe says, oh, he doesn't care to really make it or really want to do that. So we'll just give him the fallback plan. So I think that's toxic. Parents that say, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a doctor. What does the kid want to be? Well, he wants to be, okay, then support that, because he'll probably be the best, or she will be the best.
I think you might have been the one previous guest, I think it was you maybe, that said when we talked about that, look, if you want to be an actor, but you also want to be an accountant, be an accountant. Because in order to do this kind of stuff, you have to be 100% in, not half.
Yeah, you're screwed. If you want to be an accountant or an actor, be an accountant, because you go to work every day and you account. If you're an actor, you go to work and people go, no, you're wrong for the part. Or, no, I don't think you should do it that way. Or, no way, we worked with you before. Oh my God, imagine going as a school teacher and getting rejected 90 days out of 100 days. You go to school, no, you're not smart enough today, go home. It's unthinkable.
And that's just from the kids telling them that. That's not the board of directors of the PTA. That's today it's the kids saying, nah, out.
Beat it.
It's like,
so imagine the thick skin you have to get. And I tell people that, because I mentor a lot of people for free. I've been blessed in my life for a long time to have steady work. So yay, and everything's paid. So when people come to me and says, can you help me? I say, yes, if I can. And the first thing I tell them is, if this is what you really want, then you have no other choice. Do it. This is where you're going, and it will be possible, and it will happen. But you can't have the doubt. Well, I'm not sure they like me. Your job is the audition. You do the audition, you're done. Whether you get it or not, none of your business. But if they call, yay, you win. If they don't, the next audition is your business. Do that. It's a crappy, weird business, but it's show business, and it picks you. You don't pick it.
right, exactly. A lot of people do say that. They'll say that it was, talk to a singer or somebody, and they'll be like, it called me, I didn't call it. And then you just pay heed to the calling and you're running with it from there. You're doing a lot of work that is, there's a lot of self-funding, a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears, and creating it from the ground floor. It takes a village, but it's not necessarily Warner or Sony. This is you creating your own thing. Do you like that aspect of what you're doing?
I do love the control of my vision being full, especially being a director. You get to be like, no, here's what I want to do, or a producer. There's so many times in my life that I'm doing a scene going, oh God, I hope nobody sees this, because it's just not good. And thankfully, half the time people didn't. It didn't make it. Why? Because it sucked. So I love it. There's something wonderful about just showing up to set, knowing your lines, having the makeup art. But if you're the guy that set up the hotels and set up the actors and are in character and also directing them, because you can hear me during the things going, for Chris at one point, who's the boy who played my son, I'm like, Chris, look at me in the eye. I'm an Italian boy, just like you. We're both from Long Island. You're playing my son. See the little boy in me. I mean, it was a whole long thing, and then the scene went beautifully well. It just went like smooth because he was acting. He was there because he was afraid of me, and I'm like, no, I'm the other kid. Let's play, So between that and Detective Kiwi, I had to work with 10-year-olds, and you can't have stress on a set. So I was glad to have control over every single part of that production, every single part, including having the actors sleep at my house here, including having the camera people flying from LA sleep at my house. So it was a kumbaya thing, man. We all, cooked at night and talked about the next day coming up. And when you're dealing with young actors, it's not what it is. It's what you want it to look like. So you just tell them something different. And then when it's done in editing, like I could see that they believe every word of it. They didn't even know what the scene was about, but it works.
What brought you to Virginia?
My father and mother moved here many years ago. I'm actually probably going to sell part of this estate, and I'm probably going to move to Palm Springs for a while. And I don't know. My father was sickly, and his wife was passing away. So I moved here to take care of my dad from Northern California at the time. But
Did-
I love my house there in New York.
Did your dad get to see any of your success?
Yes, he has. And if I don't want to sound like an ungrateful son. My father has seen everything that I've done from afar.
So he's watching, and just whether he's going to be able to express it, not necessarily.
Well, yeah, that's right, Jim. You're good.
Yeah.
Good, you. Very good. The best.
Who needs Dr. Phil? We've got Dr. Jim here. No
you.
copay either. No copay.
No,
No copay.
$30. Yeah, that's my dad. My father was a musician, and my father's an artist in his own right, and just the way it is, he passed me on the back on occasion, which always feels good for a dad, and that's my movie Amends of the Father. So I'm there to. Somebody's making amends somewhere, but my father said, "Is that the movie where you hate your father?" I'm like, "No, it's not about you. It has nothing to do with you." He was trying to catch.
That's the sequel. I Hate My Father.
That's a book. My father's a good man. He's 88 years this week.
Yeah.
My dream for this movie is to have the right studio see it, like on Netflix or whatever, and redo it as a series. So it's a 5-part series for 2 years, and I have a second series that I'll tell you quietly when we're just talking, not on the air. So that's what I wanted to do. I want someone to pick it up and go, good story, let's make it into a series. Then we could use all kinds of 80s stars and the slashes and the, whatever, the Axl Roses and stuff as weave them into the story, because it's all 80s throwbacks.
Themed, right? Exactly.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be really, really cool. And I think you would really bring in not only those who remember, but also a whole new generation of people, which I think is a really cool thing. Yeah. You've won already so many awards with this, and you've won multitude of awards internationally and nationally for all of your work. But this one has been very, very well received, huh? And that's got to make you feel really good, especially with something as personal as this particular project is for you.
It's very, Ann Potenza is.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Jimmy Kimball's Uncle Frank's daughter. She
right.
was at screening with me in Marina Del Rey, and on some of the parts of that movie, I was stuck in her, like underneath her arm, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" Because I didn't know how things were going to react. And when it was over, she went, "Oh, I get it." But she was just like, "Get off of in the theater when everybody around us is like, what are you doing?" I just could. It's so personal that I didn't want to watch in a way. It's barren. It's me and my for the most part. It's me like showing up to school in your underwear, which is as a kid that was like the worst thing that could happen. The bad dream of there I was in homeroom in my underwear. So this whole movie,
as long as it was clean, because Mom would always say, make sure you have clean on in case you're in an accident.
Right. And these were clean underwear, but man, I don't want anybody to see.
But that's a heck. So where does this film that is so personal that you're sharing with the world rate for you in terms of some of the work that you've done in your extensive and ongoing career, Steve?
I think as an actor, this is the best work I've done because I wrote it for the guy. I wrote it for me. So I think it's my best acting. As far as directing, second best directing. Music, it's a whole soundtrack on Spotify of all my music, new and old. So I'm proud of it because every single part of it is me. The writing, the producing, the directing, I don't know, the music, the acting. I go all the way there from there to Jack Nicholson Shining. So you're going to see I'm glad that I was able to go all the way there. And if they don't like it, I don't care. That's what the character called for. So I'm hoping that somebody bigger than me says, "Hey, I will need you to be in a De Niro series or whatever." You know what I mean? So then suddenly I'm working full time as that guy.
Exactly.
I want to do a lot of stuff before I drop dead. I have quite a few years left, and I just want to stay positive, and I want to stay productive and include more people, make more for all of us.
For everybody, exactly. Are you still got your feet dipped in the comedy world?
Not as much lately, although I can't say that.
Because the world can certainly use more of it, So it's a very uptight world right now.
It sure is, and it's hard to do comedy because I think everybody's so divided. It's hard.
Yeah, like if you say hello the wrong way, somebody will misinterpret the word hello.
You said hello, lady. I'm like, yeah, 'cause that's what Jerry Lewis said. Yes, but she doesn't.
Hey, lady, right? Yeah, that's what I used to say. Right.
So now that, and I don't want to think too much. So, I started my show in New York about a month and a half ago one night, and I just said, if you're easily offended, please leave. I say stuff, but it's nothing is mean-spirited, but I'm going to use words that are so controversial, like this man, this woman. I say the word midget because midget is funny. Little person is respectful, but it's not funny. There's certain funny words that you have to say. So I say midget. It's the way it is. And it's just, it might make people mad, but I'm okay with that too. My job is to be in the business of attraction. So I want everyone to like me, but it's almost impossible sometimes. Although the New Yorkers, once I got through them, I said, I don't care what you think. This is me. Nobody left and everybody clapped and cheered. So maybe it's time to start relaxing with the whole woke crap.
Everybody's very uptight and tense, and I know it's.
Oh, what though? We're all look at the whole thing as a whole. This is
There'd be no Don Rickles today.
Oh my God!
No way.
King. Don Rickles, any of those guys, even George Carlin. Oh, I'm offended by that. Well, somebody said, I did a movie many years ago called Homo Heights. I played with Leah Delaria and Quentin Crisp, a gay icon. I played a mafia boss drag queen, 1986. It came out in 98. When I say the word Homo Heights, my agent a while ago said, I just have to tell you something. I'm offended by that title. I said, good. Art is supposed to get something flowing in you, whether it's anger, happiness, tears, laughter. You're offended. Thank you. You know what I mean? It's a word that was used. It is what it is. If you said queer 40 years ago, you got into a fight. Now you say queer, and that's proper English. It's a queer. They're a queer family, a queer. So I'm not going to keep up with that crap. I speak the English, and if you don't like my English as a comedian,
right?
I don't tell you, but as an actor, it's a different thing. I'm going to say what that character has to say. And this stuff in Amends of the Father that is slightly unpopular in spots without giving it away.
But it's a part of the story, right? It's part of the story.
Also, I've made a living being likable. I'm always likable. And in this movie, I had to be okay with not being likable, which is hard.
Right. It's takes it in a different direction. Speaking of likable, I mean, several years as Las Vegas Male Entertainer of the Year. What is it like to have that title?
It's nice, and everybody hates you for a minute, and then you move on.
They actually do? Why, because they didn't get it?
Yeah. No one wants you to get nowhere more than the people that have arrived there before you. That's just the way it is. But it was nice because it brought my price up, and suddenly more people would come to my shows. And I mean, Larry came to my show, and all these like cool, like Gladys Knight coming to my shows. Paris Hilton came to my shows because of the title. So it's cool, man. The more people with the title, it doesn't mean anything ego-wise. It creates more opportunity to get seen more, and then to meet more people. And that's what I want to do. I want to meet everybody, and I want to give the world a hug before I drop dead someday. And I want to make more for them as well. So that title means that to me. It was great. And now in the Philippines, I went to a film festival while I was there, except home there. And I went to the Manila Film Festival, and I won Best Actor. And I happened to be there, and they didn't know I was there. I got mobbed. Oh my God. I'm like, I'm just some ass from Long Island, New York. It's not that big of a deal. And it was great.
But in Manila, yes. Yeah. Sure, right. Isn't it amazing?
So, and then for the rest of the vacation there, or time there for the month, everyone wanted to come over and take photographs with me because it was in the papers. And boy, that's beautiful,
Isn't that when that happens? Yeah, it really is. You never know when you do what you do, who you reach sometimes, because there's so many people. It's a mass audience through any of this kind of work. And you just never know until somebody comes up to you, or they write a note, or to let you know how much whatever you said or did made them laugh, made them think, made them cry, made them mad, whatever, how you've impacted their life to get them to maybe make changes in their life, or think about things differently, or simmer down, or charge up. It's a beautiful thing, right?
When people reach out to me and say, hey, you didn't say, you led by example, but I remember working with you and you're a little rough, you know, and then you were cool. And then I was drinking too much. And then by your just doing what you do, not by saying like you should, whatever, I decided to stop, and I haven't had a drink in 10 years, and my career went up like this. I married the girl I loved, and I've got 3 kids. Yes. And what did I say? Nothing. I led by example, and that's beautiful.
That's the way to do it. Lead by example. What else is coming up for you, my friend?
Well, before that, I have a thing upstairs from here. It's a letter that I printed out in Germany. I did a show in Atlantic City. Some people came from Philly, brought their mother. The mother had cancer. She was in chemotherapy. She came to my show, evidently, and they said, thank you for giving us our mother back. And evidently she clicked with all the stuff I was doing, the Motown things, and she laughed at a whole ride home to Philly. She was herself for the first time in months and months, and then she slipped away after that. But I got an email saying, thank you for giving us back our mother. And I printed that, and I've held on. I made a frame for it, and that's the most beautiful part of our business, show business, and just being positive and making that one person, I changed their life for that short time. I gave them their mom back, even though she was dying. And I keep that letter. So that's what this is about. What's new, what's fresh, what's coming up.
Thanks for sharing that too, Stephen, because that is very, very powerful stuff. Yeah.
It's not
what it is all about. It is what life's all about, right?
And it's never about me. You know, I'm the vehicle that does stuff, and I like my life. I enjoy flying here and there and doing stuff and filming. And we're going to be doing a movie here at this place come August called we don't have time, Uncle Treasure. It's a good thriller here. And then I'm writing another film with a gentleman from Toronto who won Best Film. So I have film projects coming up. Not a lot of live comedy or Elton John stuff at all. I'm taking a little break from that.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
And by the way, Vegan Sun, 10,000 seats 4 weeks ago. I should have told you.
It was 10,000? Wow.
Well, the arena. I mean, I don't think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was there for Tony Orlando's Goodbye.
Oh,
the place was filled. He did a 3.5-hour show, nonstop, no interruptions.
Man, he's a rock star. Bless him.
It was that's quite a venue, isn't it? Mohegan Sun Arena. Phenomenal.
My dream is to do have Tony K's My Music from the Thing have a resurgence, and suddenly we're touring. I would love.
Heard it here first.
And I'm still up, thankfully.
Yes, right. Exactly. People are asking, where can they see Amends of the Father?
Well, they can go to the New York Chain Film Festival on August 1st and see the screening there. Then there's another screening on August 9th at 7 p.m. at the Las Vegas Premiere Film Festival. If they wait a couple more months, it'll be on Tubi. So we'll have that on the
Tubi.
website.
Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah.
The thing is, we're trying to sell it as a series, so we don't want to give away all the stuff. But Tubi's said yes so far, so that's
great. They're terrific, aren't they? We see it. We watch a lot of stuff on Tubi.
Yeah, they say yes to a lot of people. They don't have the attitude like, oh, you can't. They'll do anything. You know, they want you to be seen.
They want to help, right? And it's a great network. I mean, they have a lot of classic television and film and so much, like every series there ever was. I mean, I just forgot about My Favorite Martian. I mean, you're like, wait a minute, that was on.
Those are my shows. My Favorite Martian, Mr. Ed, the Addams Family, the Munsters.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke. Religious, man. Watching Van Dyke is like an acting.
Yeah. Is there anybody out there that you wish you would have an opportunity to collaborate with or work with of that ilk of a Dick Van Dyke?
Oh, from then? Well, I would love
to even from then who's still with us, or somebody who's not, or somebody that's, I would love if we could do it.
Mel Brooks, the king.
Good choice.
Right?
Good choice, right?
Do a play with because I still do musical theater with Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane, yeah. The producers, yeah, exactly.
I got a text or email from Martin Scorsese's office telling me, hey, we think you're great. It was just like, we've been watching your stuff. Continued success and keep spreading love and happiness. M. Scorsese. So it's not like, call me, I have something for you. It wasn't that at all. It was just a shot in the arm, and I get that. And
that we know and we're watching and we're aware.
That you're not going unnoticed, which is what we all want to be. noticed.
That's because all of them saw the last time you were on the Jim Masters Show series, and that's why that note developed. Who
It's
knows what's going to happen after being on tonight?
This is it, kid.
I
This is
mean,
big time.
you have worked all your life to get on JMS. I know you have.
I love your show. I always watch your show, and I love your show, and I love your questions, and I love your attitude. And you're such a mensch. I'm not Jewish, but I play one on TV.
You know who called me that too? Craig Allen from WCBS,
Really?
Channel 2 and News Radio 88. Said, Jim, you're a mensch.
I love it.
It's a great word, right? It really is
Yeah.
a great word. I think
if-
you are too in many ways. You are as well.
Very sweet. Hey, if you want to come down to see the movie in New York, I'll send a car for you. Don't worry about it.
Very nice. I like that.
You're around.
Very nice. Very, very nice. That would be fantastic.
Thank
You're the
you.
best, my friend. This is really, and of course, there's the IMDb as well on Amends of the Father, and we've been showing as well Stephen's website, keeping you abreast of everything going on in all the different genres of life that he's a part of, which is really, really cool. And congratulations on this and everything else, my friend, and stopping by our show. It's always a delight. It's always a pleasure. And all of our viewers they're loving it too, and they're commenting. That is some high praise right there. God bless you for touching those lives from Marine, Arizona. And Sherry says, thank you for coming back, Stephen. Your movie sounds amazing. Please come back soon. Best of luck in all you do in the future. Really nice. And Merlin in Canada, thanks for being here again. Kathleen in New York City, thanks for being here, Stephen. Wishing you continued success.
Yeah.
Lots of levity here on the Jim Master Show. Once again for you, Stephen Sorrentino.
Sorrentino, who cares?
Stephen S. Double S.
Right.
Double
SF.
S.
That's right.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Don't leave the last F or S off. Don't
What?
leave the last S off for savings. Do you remember that? There used to be commercials that ran in New York. It was actually for a mattress store, a mattress chain, and that was their tagline.
I
Don't
remember that. You're scaring
whatever
me.
their name was, it was don't leave the last S off for savings.
That was around the time of Toys R Us with the giraffe guy.
Right. And Cy Sims, educated consumer, is our best customer.
And Crazy Eddie.
Oh my God.
Insane.
Are insane. Nobody beats the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz. We could do a whole thing here on just
One
all the
line?
commercials. Exactly. All right, my friend, you're the best. We just had a great free-flowing conversation. As I say, these are conversations, not necessarily interviews. Really good stuff. And as always, congratulations and everything. Continue to spread the word about our show. I know you do. And come see us again, okay? I said the last time the porch light would be on for you, and it still is. And we'll keep it on for you. You're welcome back at the Jim Master Show anytime, my friend.
I want to come back with the series being 1 year in the can and go, look, Jim, we did it.
Next time, we'll also have some White Castle ready for you.
Oh, you're killing me.
You're the comedian, and I'm killing you.
Wow. No.
It's an island thing. It's an island thing.
Oh,
It's an automatic sort of. There's a wavelength that's just hard to even.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't even really write it. It's just
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're born with
It's like a tennis match that's equal.
Yeah.
It's love.
Well, living in Virginia, it's very different. When I go to New York, people say, "What do you know, everyone?" I'm like, "No, we're all on the same page." New Yorkers are all ready for a quick wit, and we connect in the eyes. It's so beautiful, and a lot of places don't understand that. They're like, "Do you know everyone?" I'm like, "No." Well, why did the guy hug you leaving? I said, "Because we connected within 30 seconds. That's my life." I love
That's it. He's a connector.
I'm a connector. Who knew?
Well, I'm glad we're connected, and we connected again, my friend. You be well. Best to the family. Congratulations on everything. And again, come see us again, okay?
You guys absolutely will. Thank you again. And thank you for all your listeners and watchers. I appreciate the kind thoughts.
Absolutely. They're loving you, and they got a lot of comments in here. We appreciate their attention as well. You have a wonderful rest of the night, and we shall See you soon, my friend.
Again.
Thanks, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Stephen Sorrentino, extraordinary actor, comedian, impressionist, composer, director, producer, Las Vegas Male Entertainer of the Year multiple times, joining us right here on the Jim Masters Show live series. Really a lot of fun. What a crazy episode this was, right? Just went in so many different directions, even some of the technology in the beginning, the audio. But you know what? That's what makes it fresh and real and fun and free-flowing and conversational. And I think that's great because it's very interactive and you guys are here enjoying, and we appreciate that. Thanks for all the great comments in the chat room. If you would like to comment on the channel as well, there is a comment section right below this episode and all the episodes. We would love it if you do leave a comment for us. It helps us grow and expand and reach more people around the world with the Jim Masters Show series. And if this is your first time here, welcome to our show. There are hundreds and hundreds of incredible episodes you can binge watch and see some of your favorites again or see for the first time, some new ones. And we would love it, as we say, very important, if you give this episode a thumbs up like. There's a thumbs up icon on the YouTube channel next to the episode. Share this episode on your social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. And leave a comment for us as well. We say thank you for your doing that as well. I've been on the air for many, many, many hours on the radio today. So Stephen Sorrentino with us tonight. And I'm still Jim Masters. Thanks everybody for being with us. We love you all. This is your host, Jim Masters, thanking you for your time. This time, till next time, come see us again. More great guests on Friday. For those watching live, renowned actor Eric Roberts. Yes, prolific actor. Going to be with us here on the show this Friday. So tune in for that. That's going to be cool. And lots more surprises, many more guests. But again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and check out the archives on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. Binge watch and enjoy all of it. For all of us here, don't forget to love one another, take care of one another. Do the same for yourself. Come see us again on the Jim Masters Show. We love you all. Cheers.